Greetings, loyal minions. Welcome back to the SciShow, the #1 ranked YouTube channel for redheads. If that's you, I appreciate you. Speaking of redhead, just look at this adorable brute of a munchkin man, Isidore. I mean, I didn't realize he had hooves. All that flirting I did with him early on, but I think the hooves just make it even a bit more exciting. He's just got everything going on. He's just a hunk of a man. That manly beard. He's got those big breasty nipples. Look like juicy big hamburgers you just want to sink your teeth into. Anyway, redheads. Some people prefer blondes, but we know that blondes are just redheads that have had the fire. No, I don't think I need to say that. Anywho, we're here for a bit of a test. Orhan AF. I hope I said all that correctly, requested a test video on my previous video. If you haven't watched that video where I do some pulls, and I won't ruin the surprise, but I kind of already have if you're watching this video, go check it out. There was plenty of 5-star action. Yeah, but Orhan has asked me to do a test on the big red guy, so I try to be a man of the people, and you know, if I'm asked something, I'll try to do it. Not really done test videos before, generally more on defense when I'm trying to pick apart a hero on how to kill them. But let's see how this big guy performs. I've got him to level 85. Won't be able to get him to 90 just yet without all the mats. I also got the second version, so he's slowly getting up there. I'd love to have both of them ready for next Rush War, but that may not be the case. We'll see how we go. Anyway, I'm just going to do some raids. I might do some ninja tower action with him as well, just to see what sort of damage he's doing to those bosses in the tower. I've paired him up with Pepper Flame, who does some defense down and also gives the growth, so that'll just give him a bit of extra attack power. I've got Hathor in there to get his mana up a little bit quicker, and I've thrown Fizz Coil in just to get some wither on the enemy as well. Along with Ash, who does the defense down for fire. So just going to see what sort of damage he can give. And look, I might suck in these raids. I'm not paying, you know, I'm not trying to win. I'm just sort of trying to get my reds to get him charged and see how he does. So he should be an absolute brute, putting the defense down against specials and then hitting like 300 to 10, well, 300 to then 10 different enemies, but it does lower each time. So we'll see how many tiles we need to get him charged, if we can get Hathor off as well. Of course, just because I'm trying to test, it'll probably, you know, turn out to be a failure. So there's my 9 tiles. So he's just short. I will fire. Just going to take out that minion to start with. Hopefully. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough to get him. I don't think it quite will. Yeah, not quite. So he's probably going to need around 10 tiles, and then not a great team to test against either, as Odile has obviously thrown up her ailment blocker. She's dead now though, so I might just let that wear off, which it has. So that's fantastic. I'll just fire him without using anyone else to start with to see what sort of attack he's got. He does have 250 growth, so his attack is currently sitting at 2100, and we'll just see what sort of damage that does. So hard to see, but I've seen 1,000. Look, off the top of my head, that maybe looked like about 3,000 all up. It did hit multiple times on Shimmer Scale, I think, and Dimmer. They don't have the ailment anymore, so we can see the ailment there at the bottom, minus 64% defense against special skills, and when it is removed, they get the minus 80% decrease to healing for 6 turns. That's like a long time too. That's really going to hamper some teams. Now with that, I'm just interested in the Equalizer War if he has hit with the defense down, it says once it's removed, it then gives 80% decrease for any healing. During Equalizer War, is it going to equalize and remove that, but then the healing, the minus 80% to healing, will actually stay on because the equalizer's already gone off? Or does it just take that out? I'm going to have to probably keep an eye on that and test it, because that could be an interesting way. I know obviously the equalizer does the bonus damage that, say, Pepper Flame has, but because this is an ailment, that when the ailment is removed, it replaces it with another ailment. So based on the way equalizer works, it should remove it, but then actually replace it straight away. So that could be a good way of utilizing him quicker. Like, instead of, I mean, it's the equalizer is going to remove it, but you could use him in a way to then, as soon as the equalizer goes off, they've all instantly got minus 80% decrease for healing. I hope that all makes sense. I'll possibly test that during next Equalizer War and see if I can confirm exactly how that's going to work. But I will also slow that down in the video to see what sort of damage he did just do. I might, try and slow it down and sort of add it up and that sort of thing. We'll see how much time I have for editing. We'll just do a few hits. Wouldn't mind trying to get him off again, but maybe hard. We'll see what we can ghost around with here. So that hit was pretty much unassisted. All he had was the 250 attack from the growth. You can see that special hangs around for quite some time, so it needs to be activated 3 times from special skills, so it will just sit there forever until you're hitting with special skills. And it's obviously going to finish him off, but we'll just hit that and have a look. Yeah, that's hit one of them an awful lot. This guy only hit him once or twice in total, because it hit him once to apply the effect and then only hit him one more time because it's only got 2 activations left. So anyway, I'll just get out of this and I will think of some more tests. I'm thinking I've got the second one, so I might test both of them and just see if between the two they can sort of wipe out a whole team, even though the second one's not fully leveled. It'll be nice to see. So and then I'll do some Ninja Tower testing. So let's have a quick look and move on. Alright, so I've got a couple of Isidores now. Obviously this guy doesn't have a legend troop and he's not fully done, so his attack's down at 1100 as opposed to this dude at 1800, so it's obviously going to make a huge difference. Hopefully we can get him fired off. I've just got some healers here to help out, keep them alive and give them some mana, so we'll see what we can do. I do apologise that I'm just basically talking crap throughout these videos, but it is hard with the testing videos when you're just sort of trying to get the right scenarios, and I do have to go and play golf in the not too distant future, so just want to try and get some recordings done and give the people what they want. There's no point using Hatha just yet, so I'll just get him set off. So we'll see the difference here between the lower attack. I'll use the lower attack first, and then we'll sort of see what impact it has on the second one. So even there, it looked like maybe, the hits range between sort of 200 and 600. So if you're just saying an average of, 350 to 400 and there's 10, that's huge. That's like, no, it wasn't quite that big, I don't think. I'll need to add those up, but let's have a look at this second guy. It's activated on a couple, so they have the minus 80% healing as opposed to the defense down against special skills, but we'll have a whack and see what sort of damage he can do. Yeah, so I think there was even a hit there of only 79. So that last hit, I don't know whether, I don't think it's halving each time, but I might try and figure out if we can see any sort of pattern. I might try and get the 10 hits, put them in order of highest to lowest, and sort of see if we can figure out some sort of pattern there. We'll see what we can do. Not sure I'll be able to get him to fire again, but and after this test, I think if there's anything specific you want me to test, just let me know, because then I can make sure I get that in any sort of videos that I do. With an attacking hero like this, is not a great deal to test. Obviously, is resist insanity. That's doesn't need to be tested. He just resists it, so that will be great in insanity wars, even though he's running it slow. But we'll again see what sort of damage you can do here. I do wish he could control. Yeah, so there was a hit of 30 there, but the first one was 670. So that's interesting. Obviously, that guy is not fully leveled. Yeah, I'd love to be able to control hits. I've seen like there was a hit there of 1100 as the first one. So they can obviously vary. We know hits can vary anyway. There's a sort of range that they can vary between. So it will be very interesting. I'll stop talking and carrying on, and I'll try to get some quick editing done so I can actually show those different hits. I just realised I was pretty close to getting my raid chest, and I also have the monster chest, so I'm just going to finish those off so I can pop them or open them whilst you're watching, just to see if I've got anything cool in there. I thought it might be a bit nasty to not let you see that. I've also just came up against a team that has Zug, so he's just throwing his minions up with the reflex, so it'll be interesting to see whether I'm basically going to kill myself with these hits. Yeah, so he had 2200 HP and he's almost killed himself, so that sort of shows the type of damage he may be doing. Yeah, that's interesting. Not huge, like 2,200. I think he actually damaged more than that, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what sort of damage in total. Well, we'll show that. Anyway, I'll stop talking. Just so you might like to see that reflect. So yeah, I'll zip ahead now. I'll come back, do my raid chest, etc. Do some Ninja Tower hits, and then I will finish things off. I will, as I said, I'll do some little calculations, so stay through to the end. I'll put those calculations on, and I'll sort of show in some detail the different hits he did as it got lower and lower. Alright, hopefully having you all watch will give me a little bit of luck, but let's see what we get in our chests. It doesn't look like anything good in that one. I have been quite lucky with my monster chests lately, and been getting some good 4-star items. These goblin balloons are getting a little bit better, so that's probably not a bad deal there. $2.99 for a 5-star Aether. I might even grab that at some point, but we'll see. And hopefully the raid chest gives me something good. No, just a big old bone. We need to bend over and take that bone from SG all the time, unfortunately. Alright, let's have a quick bash in the Ninja Tower. Oh, hang on, I want to get rid of... You can see here I just use a bit of a mega minion team for the tower. I don't take the tower very seriously. I don't sort of try too hard. But let's see what sort of damage the big dude can do in a tower. If we hopefully get enough reds to actually get him activated. Actually, of course he'll be activated because I have the bonuses heading into the boss wave. So anyway, let's just... I should be able to use him twice here, so I'm going to kill that guy. We'll buzz him off and see what happens. Hopefully he just kills them all in one go. Look at that, that was quite impressive. And now we'll get him to go against the bosses and see what happens here. Pretty cool little animation. Yeah, that was quite impressive with the damage he's done. Obviously it's not that far through, I'm only on level 21 of normal, but that was definitely quite an impressive hit. So I'll try and slow that down as well. And we can compare it to what, say, Shimmer Scale or Frank Fang's Brimwell did with their hits, just to try and get a bit of a comparison. So that will probably wrap it up. Thanks for watching. No, stay tuned a bit longer because I'll put in the slowed down bits and I'll go over some damage, and then I'll say thanks for watching. Also, just had a quick thought of comparing against Nine-Headed Beast, who has a similar mechanic. So he deals 160% damage to 9 random enemies, but the attacks don't drop. So I just thought it'd be interesting. Obviously he's a little bit older now. The attack is quite a bit lower. I think when we were looking at Isidore, he's around 1800, but just thought it would be an interesting comparison. The enemies have these minions on with a bit of extra defense. I might just throw Fizz Coil out to neutralize that a little bit. They still have quite a bit of extra defense, but I can hit him as well. So anyway, I'll just see the comparison. All right, I've just slowed down. Glancing, it looked a lot lower. Again, I will feel free to slow that down and put a bit of comparison if you need to pause it to see what we get. They're pretty slow, so hopefully you'll see some of the numbers and the impact it has. I have went through and put all the numbers into a spreadsheet and tried to sort of work out some percentages. It is obviously very difficult to assess because we know that there's a variation when you hit anyway. And the best way to show that is with the Nine-Headed Beast hits. So the enemy had some defense up with Nine-Headed Beast. Overall, he did around about 1,000 damage. I'd say that would be closer to 2,000 damage if the defense up wasn't on. But the difference between his biggest hit, which was 157, and his smallest hit, which was 43. So the 43 is basically a 72% difference between the largest hit. So that shows you how much variance there is, not only between the hits themselves, but also the heroes that you're hitting based on their defensive stat. So it's very, very difficult to work out the full numbers with Isidore. But just to compare, so say Nine-Headed Beast, I'd say his hit was probably 2,000 damage in total. Isidore averaged against the normal raid teams, his hit averaged around about 5,000 damage each time. So you're looking at about 1,000 damage to each hero. Again, it is difficult to tell with the different defenses. One of the hits also had a Astral Elf, I believe. So the hit, some of the damage was being shared, so it does make it very difficult. The other thing with Isidore which makes it hard is that the subsequent hits will generally have the minus 64% to special skill defense on it. So those hits are actually going to be higher or close to as high as some of the first hits once that is on. So most of the second hits were about 15% less than the first hit. So there was a 15% reduction. And the other pattern, the others, are, as I said, it's very hard to track because of the defense down being applied, but the last hit was generally a 95% reduction from the first hit. So it could be that it's around about 15% drop each time. It depends on how the algorithm's working, whether it takes the first hit and the last hit and just sort of increments, or whether it sort of says it's a 15 to 20% drop each hit. So to keep that really simple, if the first hit was 1,000, the second one would be 800. That is a 20% drop. Then you're looking at another 20% drop of 800, which would make the third hit 640. So it's sort of incremental on that 20% on the hit before it. not on the overall. But again, it depends how it works. That's just some averages. On average, look, it's around about a 15% drop each time. But again, it's extremely hard to fully put those numbers in. But against a raid team, you're looking at around about 5,000 damage overall. So there it is. Hope anyone who's interested in the nitty gritty, I hope that was enjoyable. Let me know what you think. As I said, I can do more of these testing videos if you find them useful. If you want to see anything else, just drop me a comment and let me know. As always, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, I'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers in the next couple of months. So would love, if you do enjoy my stuff, to gently caress that subscribe button. Further than that, give your kitty a scritch for me. Have a good one.